Welcome, pool guys and gals, to the Let's Talk About Pools podcast, where your host, Lauren Broom, will take a splash into many topics in the pool industry to educate all aquatic professionals. Listen in, and you just might be surprised what you'll learn. So let's jump right in.
Welcome, everybody, today to the Let's Talk About Pools podcast. And on episode 46, I had the distinction to interview Derek Todd. And we talked about what is specialized business consulting. And he brought up so many good points in this podcast episode, and he can help you a lot with your business if you're in the industry. So listen into this episode. I want to say thank you to our special sponsors today, Skimmer and Raypack. Thank you for sponsoring the podcast today and continuing education through the podcast. Let's jump right into this episode with Derek Todd.
Skimmer is an app that's built for pool service companies, and it really does everything they need to run their businesses. We have tens of thousands of techs using our app every day in the pools, in the field, and being able to just simply swipe left, swipe right, scroll up and down, take photos. Everything is so easy, it can be done with one hand. We know how hard our clients are working every day, and so we feel it's our responsibility to make sure we deliver a top-notch product and a support team that's capable of pleasing and satisfying our customers.
You can literally pick up the phone and someone will answer. And that sounds very obvious, but it's not when you talk to tech companies. And it makes you feel like you have a voice and they listen and they actually respond to it.
When I first started, we were just pen and paper, putting door tags on. We actually tried a bunch of different apps. There seemed to always be something missing. We ran across Skimmer, and this one by far been the most efficient, the cleanest, the easiest to work with.
I've looked into creating in-house ways of tracking and doing the same thing. It can be very costly. Skimmer allows you to have a customized experience because they listen to your feedback. It's like having a custom platform without the cost and labor involved in managing that.
So I was very impressed with the affordability of Skimmer, the benefits that we get in terms of maximizing route efficiency and being able to keep a record of all the chemicals used and pictures of all the pools all in one spot and information we can access immediately. It's just incredible.
The technician will do all these little clicks and say what they did and what chemicals they put in. They'll take a picture of the pool, and then Skimmer does this great report that gets emailed to the customer at the end, telling them what they did and how they did it, what chemicals they added, and customers absolutely love it.
For as long as I'm in business, I don't see myself ever doing business without using Skimmer. It's just the top of the line product to use within the market, and it just saves so much time while also being personalized to your company. Skimmer is a company that's going to keep your database and everything completely organized and in line for you.
One of our goals is to help our clients grow their companies, and we see every year, every day, we get feedback from our clients thanking us for allowing them to grow, allowing them to hire more folks, allowing them to make more money and put their kids through college, to have more time and more free time on the weekends. It's always a huge compliment when we hear our customers talk about how much they've been able to grow, how many folks they've been able to hire and employ thanks to the app.
Welcome, everybody, today to the Let's Talk About Pools podcast. And on my episode today, I have Derek Todd with Aquanut Academy. Welcome today, Derek.
Hey, how are you?
Awesome. It's great to have you. It's just awesome to see everything that you do on social media. I know a lot of people know who you are on there. You're very involved with even helping to educate our swimming pool owners. You have a face group that you run. I think the name kind of changed recently, didn't it?
Yeah, so it had a generic kind of name. It was like Swimming Pool and Owners Group, Swimming Pool and Spa Owners Group. And I wanted it to kind of give it a community type of feel. So I changed it to the Pool Owners Guild. So guys, it has a nice little ring to it. I am also an admin and very active in the Pool Care for Dummies group. So that's another homeowners group. So both of those groups I'm very active in. I'm an admin in both of those and help out a lot of homeowners. I think total we have like 70,000 members or something.
That's
like
a
that.
lot of people that you're helping.
And then I'm also an admin of a group for pool pros. And I'm in so many different groups that I start to forget the names of them. But yeah, so I am very passionate about kind of lifting up the pool pro and the guys that are just kind of trying to suck the life out of our industry. I call them pool pirates, helping them find their way to the door. So I'm going to do that either talking directly to the pool pros and helping them out, or talking to the homeowners and explaining to them the difference between someone that is there to help them solve their problem and someone who is just there to take their money. So I am attacking it from both fronts.
And that's a great tactical way to do that, because we want to make sure that homeowners have good pool service pros and not somebody who's just coming in 5 minutes, walk out and take their money and not really doing what they're supposed to do while they're there. Educated homeowner is a great thing.
Yes.
And just like an educated property manager, even though they're not servicing public pools, same type of deal. That it's always that education piece, and you're doing it for free through these Facebook groups, which is awesome.
Yeah, mostly for free. If someone wants one-on-one counseling, I do charge for that, but it's not much. So people will DM me just because my mug is on the top of all those groups in the pinned section. So they'll private message me and they'll be like, "Hey, how do I do this? How do I do that?" I'm glad to help you. You just have to kind of pay for my time. But you're not really paying for my time. You're paying for years of experience of trial and error and doing all of these things, doing it wrong, screwing up, going back and fixing it. So that's what people are really paying for. So I said, hey, if you want free advice, just post your question in the group. So yeah, I'm very active on Facebook. I'm active on TikTok. I've got a YouTube channel, Instagram. I just kind of post on Instagram, kind of what I post on TikTok now. So
you're on a lot of the social media platforms I'm on. I just got on TikTok and still learning it, trying to have a little bit of fun with it at the same time. So let's get into some of those questions that people have about business. You know, those business questions they have. Our listeners are pool service pros that are in that one Facebook group with you, or they're not. And so let's try to help them out a little bit with some of the business, either things that you figured out in your career that was like, oops, or things that you did right. And great advice to give them today.
Yeah. So here's the thing. Here's the issue. You were talking about questions that they have. The thing is, they don't. That's the problem. They don't have questions, and they really, really should. Most of the people that are cleaning pools, that are chuck in a trucks or one polars, as we call them in our industry, they are out there and they are busting their hump, and they are doing a fantastic job of cleaning pools, changing out pumps, cleaning filters, doing all of the technical aspect of it, but they have no idea how to run a business. They don't even know what questions to ask. I'll be honest, I really didn't know all of the questions to ask whenever I started my pool business in 2008, but I did know a lot, because by the time I started the business, I think I had already owned 10 companies, most of those being colossal failures. So I was kind of ahead of the curve, as it were. And I always used to tell people, I'm a business guy first. I am a pool guy second. And I think that is one of the reasons why I was able to explode my explode my company and go from that one pole guy to building a 7-figure business with multiple routes, a retail store. And at one point I was taking care of 2 different parts of the state. So I grew it big, and then I, of course, sold it. And there was a definite reason why. And if more pool guys and gals start asking those really good questions, they will start to see some growth in their business.
Yeah, it is a business. You have to think of it that way. And you can't just think pool service side of it and the water chemistry and how you do it. It's important on the business side, how you run it, how you manage the money in it, how you pay the bills, the whole 9 yards, that whole side, which is new to some people getting into a pool service business that they have to learn. Like you said, you owned 10 other businesses prior, and you had learned from the mistakes that you had. And when you started this one, you took what you learned from the mistakes, and you can always learn from your mistakes and then fix it moving forward. And that's what people have to remember, I think. So what are some of those key things on the business side that, they should be kind of alert to?
The number one thing is you should have a mentor. So there's 3 different people that I think that you should have in your corner, aside from an accountant and a lawyer and all of those people. So you should have a mentor, you should have a business coach, and then you should have a hero, someone that you are looking up to. Maybe it's someone in a different industry, or maybe it's someone in the same industry. For me, I had 2 different kind of heroes, and they're still kind of heroes of mine. They're in the industry, and they have $10+ million companies. So I still kind of look at those guys, call them up, ask them various questions. Because when you've built a business to $10+ million in revenue, that is a whole nother level than someone who is doing $250,000 in revenue. That is the $1 million mark is where your mind shift has to completely change. Otherwise, you will fail. You will fall flat on your face. Whereas the sub $1 million mark, you can still kind of muddle along, just kind of winging it. But when you cross that $1 million threshold, your mindset has to change. And then when you cross the $10 million threshold, you have to be a whole nother person. So those are the 3 people that you really have to have in your corner. They can all be the same person, but what I have found is most of the time they are different people.
Might be better to have 3 different people in each role, just to have different points of view as well, that you're getting maybe advice from or something like that. And they maybe specialize. And like you said, they don't have to be in the pool service industry. There could be somebody who's successful running another business. And my understanding, there's, even with some of the stuff going on in pool service right now, we're getting a lot of conglomeration. One of the organizations that's buying up pool routes, the person that kind of started this group was over pest control. And they've taken what they learned in that industry and applying it to what they're doing now in the pool industry. And they're being very successful. So like you said, sometimes you can take what other industries do and apply it from that mentor to apply it to your business. Is that where you're going with that?
Yeah. So as far as business goes, techniques may change, but principles never do. So business principles can be apply to any different business. I can take my business principles. So I've got this is what I teach people in my course. I can take this and I can apply this to a pool company, obviously, which is what I did. I can put it in an HVAC company, electric. It doesn't matter. A plumbing company, and I can make that business a successful business. Again, the technique is changing, right? Because in an HVAC company, you're not really dealing with water flow and water chemistry and cleaning out pools. You're dealing with pressurized gases to help heat and cool. So the techniques of what you do in the field are different, but how you manage the routes, how you manage the finances, how you manage your guys, how you hire, all of that is the same.
Yeah, it's hiring. We could talk all day about all of that, managing employees in the field. God, we could go on forever on all these individual topics, all things that I think sometimes people don't think of, especially as they grow their business. Like you said, so you're a one polar. How does a one polar realize that they've got to scale the business up, go from being a one polar to hiring technicians? And how do they be successful at scaling the business when they're adding employees now? That's sometimes a hard thing for a business to do. Go from a single owner where you see the customers, you're doing the work, and usually it works because you are going to make your customers happy. Now you've got employees. How do you handle that, Derek?
Okay,
and be successful.
Yeah. So there is a couple of, we're going to call them milestones in the process of building your business and going from just you to your first guy or gal. That is probably the scariest moment for most people. But if you have the proper systems in place and you have the proper mentors, it becomes significantly easier, significantly more palatable to go from the single polar to a two pole to a three pole system. And that's what I teach in my course and my one-on-one, is when I'm taking that person and trying to help them scale their business. So a couple of things before they hire their first person, what they need to do is they need to go through their day. And what I mean by that is most people, they go through their day and they don't even think about it because they're so good at being a technician that they can go out, get in their truck, they can run through their whole day, and they're thinking about the movie Batman that they just saw the night prior. They're not even thinking about pools. They're literally doing a complete test. They're putting in chemicals and they are on autopilot. So when you are getting ready to hire your first person, you need to, everything that you're doing, start to write it down. And you start to write it down, and then you'll be like, okay, what of what I am doing is a duplicatable process? Because as a business owner, there's stuff that I do, a lot of stuff. The average person, the average employee doesn't realize this. So, but there's a lot of stuff that as a business owner, I do that an employee would not do. So as you're writing it down, you can write down, say you are price checking a new salt cell, or you are price checking a new pump, and I can get my pump here for X number of dollars, or I can get the same pump here and it's $20 more. An employee wouldn't necessarily do that. So you can kind of take that off of that sheet that you're writing down and put it on a different sheet. And then at the end of your process, and this might take you a couple of weeks unless you buy my course, in which case I'm going to run you through it really quick because I have that list done, and that's what I kind of give people when they buy my course. But after you do that, then you have a template for a new person to follow, and it's really easy, and you train your new person right off of that template. So that's kind of step number one before you even hire. Step number two, or actually that could be step number two, and step number one is going back to having a mentor and a coach and a hero. I have had a business mentor since 1999, and that person took me under their wing, taught me things that I didn't know that I needed to know. And I was a young buck wild kid, and I needed to know a lot of this stuff. And the guy's name was Mike, and he took me under his wing, and he's like, Derek, you're going to learn this crap. And he like beat me over the head with books, and it was great. And then I finally wised up, and I hired a business coach. So a mentor and a business coach, they're two different people. A business coach is someone that you pay money to, and they go through your business. A mentor is someone that is a little further back, and they're like, you know what, Derek, why don't you try this and see if it works? Maybe it won't. And typically both of those people have experience in business. I have had several people that were business coaches that has never made payroll, and they were trying to be my business coach. So I always interview my business coach. That is, I have had several throughout the years. I've got one now. Her name is Beth. She helped me build the $1 million company that I just sold. But I interviewed a bunch of them, and they're like, because I asked them like, hey, what other business? No, this is the only business that I've ever run, but I can help you build yours. Yeah, bullshit. Go learn how to make payroll, and actually learn how to eat ramen noodles while you're trying to build your business, and then come back and talk to me. So that's kind of step one and step two of getting someone to be a single poler to being a 2 or 3 pole person. Then step three is getting your finances right. There are a lot of people, and as my wife Suzanne was going through the pool show that happened in Atlantic City, she overheard and had so many conversations, just a sec, with people that are doing what's called checkbook accounting. So they have a checkbook, they're writing their expenses, they're writing their checks, or if it's not a check, credit card, whatever. But all of their accounting is done on kind of this hip pocket accounting thing where it's all in your pocket. And that is a good way to get yourself in a lot of trouble when it comes to being able to make payroll, when it comes to being able to purchase products. And when it comes to tax time, you have to have your finances, and it's not just one account that you pay everything out of. There is a system of how you should be doing this. And it's called GAAP, General Accounting Principles. So if you're not following GAAP, you could get yourself in a lot of trouble, not only in your business of not being able to cover payroll. And I don't know if you know this, it's a little secret, I'll whisper it. Employees don't like it when you can't pay them. So I don't know if you know this, but that happens. But other than, that too, the government can come down on you, and you can pay a lot of a lot of fines depending on where you are in your business. So those are kind of three kind of right off the top of my head kind of tips to get someone from a single polar to a double polar. And then there's also a mind shift change, but that is a very deep topic. I don't know how deep you want to go into that topic.
I just want to take this quick intermission so we can say thank you to our other sponsor, Raypack, and listen in to what they have to offer to the pool professional. So let's listen in, and thank you, Raypack, for continuing education through the podcast. And we'll get right back to the rest of our episode with Derek Todd after this intermission for Raypack.
Established in 1947 and part of the Rheem family of brands since 1985, Raypack is a globally recognized and trusted name in the heating industry. We manufacture high-efficiency boilers, water heaters, and pool and spa heaters for commercial and residential applications at our Oxnard, California headquarters. With over 450 dedicated and passionate team members and 150,000 square feet of manufacturing space, we're always working to provide innovative solutions that meet our customers' high standards for quality while maximizing performance and reliability. Our state-of-the-art Innovation Learning Center serves as a training hub and collaborative space for engineers, representatives, wholesalers, and contractors. The ILC is equipped with the latest digital technology, a large lecture room, and a live demonstration and instruction lab for hands-on learning so you get the most out of your training experience. We understand the importance of comfort while you learn. That's why our ILC features an inviting customer lounge and break area with interactive product displays where you can learn about our full product lineup. The ILC is the perfect setting to learn everything you need to know about Raypack products. As a member of the Rheem family of brands, Raypack is committed to Rheem manufacturing sustainability goals and taking a greater degree of responsibility for future generations. By 2025, Rheem will reduce greenhouse gas emissions by 50% and achieve zero waste landfill for global manufacturing operations. At Raypack, we demonstrate our commitment to sustainability throughout our company and our value chain, from innovative, sustainable product development to our proactive and responsible manufacturing processes. Every member of our team practices sustainability every day because we've seen how small differences can make a big impact. Our products are designed and manufactured in the USA at our Oxnard headquarters. Our manufacturing facility features cutting-edge automation technology and robotics to ensure precise, controlled production of our boilers, water heaters, and pool and spa heaters. At the end of the assembly line, we test every unit and document quality checkpoints to ensure safe and reliable performance before shipping products to our customers. Our innovative solutions, designed by our team of engineers, are built, tested, and perfected in our engineering lab prior to manufacturing. In 2018, we completed a multi-million-dollar renovation to double our lab size and increase our testing capability. Equipped with 17 test stations, an environmental ambient control room, a wind test machine, a burst test chamber, a 3D printer, and more, our engineering lab demonstrates our commitment to both innovation and quality assurance. Raypack's engineering team has filed over 35 patents since 2019 and continues to develop cutting-edge advancements in boiler and water heater technology every day. Our talented associates have a wealth of engineering, design, manufacturing, and service expertise to support your needs. We are dedicated to delivering exceptional solutions from custom to stock products, and we are conveniently located in multiple locations across the country to provide solutions and support when and where you need it. There is no better time to partner with Raypack.
Well, let's get in more to the supervision part of it. So supervising, now you've scaled up, you've got 3 pool techs other than the owner. Supervision of employees on that side. What's your advice to listeners on that?
Okay. Systems. What I was talking about earlier, systems. If you do not have systems and you do not have a way of tracking stuff, if you have a person in a truck, okay, I'll give you a real world example of this. I hired a guy, and of course I put the guy in my truck, and you should have your people in your trucks. So the trucks that your people are going out and cleaning pools or doing whatever they should be in your trucks, and they should be W-2 people. I know a lot of people want to do the whole 1099 thing. That is actually not legal in a lot of cases, and I won't go into that now, but there's a lot of people trying to do that, and they're calling themselves, I forget what they're calling themselves, like pool brokers or something like that. And anyway, it's weird, but anyway, you should have your person in your truck. So I did that with this guy, and what this guy didn't know, he was doing all of the tracking things that I had him doing, but he was fudging the numbers. And I had a digital system where you clock into a job, I think it was Arrive, and then you do all of your notes, you take pictures and all of that, and it's all kind of a timestamp deal. You put that all in there, and then you depart. Well, he was gaming the system, making it look like he was on this pool and this pool and this pool, and it looked from at a glance like he was at these pools. Well, what he didn't know, because I didn't tell him, is I had a GPS tracker on the truck. So as I was looking on my phone, I'm like, so says that he's at this job because that's what the digital app is telling me, because he arrived at this job, but this job is on this side of town, and the GPS tracker says he's 30 minutes drive on the other side of town, and he's stationary. He's not moving. So what had happened with this guy is he would get to the pools, and he would do half of his route, and he would do all of the pools really quick. So he'd get in, out, and he'd take pictures, and he'd do it really quick, doing a crappy job, because if you're rushing, there's no way to do a good full service pool cleaning job in 15 minutes. You just cannot do it.
Cut corners.
You're cutting corners. You're not vacuuming. You're not adding the proper chemistry. Maybe you're not even testing the pool fully. You're just testing for pH and chlorine, and you're just adding that. I have seen recently where a guy is keeping the chlorine level well above 10, just so the pool won't turn green. But he's going there, he's throwing some chlorine in, and he's dipping, and he's doing 17 pools in a day, and that looks really impressive until you look at what he's doing. But anyway, here it is. So this guy was doing half of his route. He was doing really fast, and he wasn't doing it right. So when he went, he would go from that side of town all the way to the next county to spend time with his kids that he did not have custody of during the day, which I'm not mad at somebody wanting to spend time with their kids, but not on my dime. You know what I mean? Because I'm paying him hourly. And then so he would spend about 2 to 3 hours with his kids. And during that time period, he's going through his phone, he's uploading notes, he's arriving, departing, putting in the pictures, just like he would as if he was actually on site, but he wasn't. And then he would leave and he would go do the other stuff. So having a great way to track those texts is key. So I had 2 different systems in place. And if you can't afford the digital tracking, you can always do it with a paper notebook. I did that for years and years and years, just writing the time that I got there, the time that I left, what the chemistry was, what I added, what I did. And I did that long before I even hired my first guy, just so that I would know, because a customer will call you up and they'll say, hey, the guy that you had on my property did not do what they said that they were going to do. And I've got stories on that too, but that's kind of one.
So difficult
example.
with that happening in the industry. It seems like it's kind of prolific across the board. I personally saw it yesterday when I was teaching one of my classes on site, and it was a commercial pool with a hot tub, and the tech showed up and was only there for 20, 30 minutes for a 98,000 gallon public swimming pool regulated and 1,000 gallon hot tub separate that are heavily used. And we never saw the technician test the water. They vacuumed, they skimmed, and that was it. And then they were leaving, getting on his truck, going to the next location. And we had tested the water, and chlorine was sky high in the hot tub, high cyanuric acid near 200. And
well, if the pool is clear, Lauren, what do you got to do?
This is the hot tub. And we confirm high chlorine because I rarely get this, but at this hot tub, we had the interference on the alkalinity test from the high chlorine, which basically verified the high chlorine test, was really high. So pH was good somehow. Don't understand that. But then when you talk to the guy, he doesn't understand, what are you talking about? And I'm like, that's the thing. It's like almost the education piece of some of these pool technicians within companies. Sometimes they don't even know what's a public pool and what's a private pool on their route. And so some of these companies think they're a licensed contractor. They don't have to really, if the state allows the employees to work under that umbrella of the license, so they don't have to invest in any type of education. They try to do it internally. So is that something that you could talk about a little bit, like on the education side for pool companies as well? That even if it's not an official certification, trying to do decent training internally so that, people know what things are and what they're supposed to be doing, instead of just throwing them out there to the wind to figure it out. And I think that brings a bad name to a pool service industry and company as well.
Yes, totally. Glad that you brought that point up. I know that I'm going to sound a little bit like a broken record here, but it does go back to systems. So in my system, I have it to where every step that happens when they pull the truck up to a homeowner's house, everything that they do is written out on that system. So I hand them the paper when I hire them, and I'd be like, this is what you are going to learn. I have my paper, they've got their paper. So I am teaching them from the system. So training is super important. And I've got about a 2-week in the field course, and I've trained hundreds of people in the field, not only people that work for me, but I've trained other people that work for other companies too, that those companies will hire me to do a in the field training of their people. And when I'm done with them, they know what they're doing. They are not CPO certified or any of the others certified, but they are Derek certified.
Right. And I understand from the business point of things, like not a company as a business, not wanting to invest, especially if they're like a licensed contractor and they're not in some states required to have all their employees CPO certified. They work under a license. It's a big investment to spend $300 and something to CPO certify them. And then what you hear is they leave and they steal some of my customers, regardless of no compete clause or not, and they go start their own pool service company. So they spend that money, and within months, that employee's gone, takes that education with them. So in my opinion, doing what you're offering, it's an unofficial training. They don't get a national certification, but it's still, I think, better than actually offering that certification, because from a business standpoint, I think the businesses would be more inclined to hire somebody like you to do that unofficial training. They're still getting that hands-on training, but they can't technically show this piece of paper officially and go leave and start their own business. So it's almost like they're investing in the employee, but it's hopefully to keep the employee with that company. And so I think that's that business side of things at the same time, right?
Well, yeah. So that is a whole nother. So whenever I'm done with them, so I've been a licensed CPO for 15 years. My license elapsed now, so I guess I'm not a real pool boy. But anyway, so all of that knowledge is there. Investing the $300 or $400 in your employees for them to get the license or certification, I think is a really good thing. By the time that I get through with them, they know far more than anything that they're going to learn in a 2-day CPO course. So in a
hands-on training, you can't beat hands-on training. And it's like, I think you agree with me. We really need to see more like apprenticeship programs where they have the classroom education piece, but they've got the requirement of so many hours that they have to do hands-on with local contractors that partner with the mentorship program or apprenticeship program, whatever you want to call it, that they're getting, and they're required to finish those hours in order to finish the apprenticeship program. And I think we're seeing that pop up more now with PHTA, the PSATC in California. There's a lot more talk about that kind of thing occurring. And it's kind of the same idea as what you're doing as well. That hands-on training, you cannot replace the hands-on training.
Yeah.
It's
so
with a classroom class.
And again, I think it's really, really short-sighted for a quote unquote business owner to look at one of their people and say, I'm not going to put the $300 into this person to get them to be a CPO because they're scared that they're going to leave. I would much rather have my people fully trained and have them leave versus them not knowing what they're doing and out there screwing up my customers' pools. So this whole fear of and it is a real fear that
investment, that might walk away on them. Yeah, and I understand that.
Who cares? You have two options. You either train someone that has the potential to leave, and if you are a bad person at running a business, which there is a lot of them out there, and they leave and they're going and doing a great job for some other company, that's a whole lot better than them staying and doing a bad job for you. So I've trained hundreds of people that left and either did their own thing, or they started another company, or a lot of them moved and went to work for other pool companies, and I'm happy for them. And I put thousands of dollars worth of training in them. But this people, they have to get over this. They're going to leave and become a competition.
That mindset. Yes.
Yeah. And
But you're
sure.
always going to have those companies that are going to have that mindset, I think, no matter what. And those are the ones that you get the pool technicians that show up and they're in and out and not enough time to take care of the pool properly.
And those are also the companies that are going to go out of business because they rightfully should, because they're so scared that they're holding on to one little nut. They're just like, don't take my one little nut. Well, there is a tree full of nuts that's just dropping them, and you are so tightly holding on to your one little nut that you don't realize that there is all of these nuts, and that's kind of a weird thing.
No, but it made sense to me.
There is more business out there than you could possibly handle. I have given pools to other companies here locally. I have called companies and be like, listen, I've got this customer. We don't have a good personality match. I think this customer would be a better personality match to you and fit your company better than my company. So that I've given customers to other companies. Other companies have give customers to me, and that's not just a personality thing. Sometimes it is a business model thing. So my business model, I had a radius and I had customers outside of my radius, but they were inside the radius of another company. And then I've had, 20, 24 customers given to me by one company that wanted to focus on building. So they gave me those companies. So there's just a lot of work out there. And if you're just trying to hold on to yours, then you're not making the business relationships with the people in your area that you really should be, because they can help you. You can help them. There's enough business out there. You can get on these same pages as far as your area and their area, what they do, what you do, and kind of get on the same page on a lot of things, and really become more prosperous, become more profitable as a company, because you're actually working with the other people in your area. So there's enough business out there to go around for everybody.
It's great that, to respect each other and be professional, and it brings our profession and our industry up. And that's what we want to do. And working together instead of against each other. I know we're all in the same business and there is competition, but we don't have to be slinging mud at each other, right?
Oh, you just hit on a hot topic for me, slinging mud. So there are companies out there that I really want to sling mud at. Like, I really do, because they are what I call pool pirates. They are ripping off customers. They are trying to steal your customers. But here is the thing.
I could tell you like this topic, Derek. I got you fired up. You're fired up here.
Getting me hot and bothered. So here is my rule, and I tell my guys this in the field, and I tell everybody this. So if somebody's out there, get a Q-tip, freshen up, pause this if you need to, get a Q-tip and freshen up, because I'm about to drop, boom, a wisdom bomb on you. Here it comes. You ready? Are you ready out there? Here it comes. Never, ever, under any circumstance, talk trash about your competition to a potential customer. Never. Even if you know for a fact that XYZ company rips off customers, even if you know for a fact that they build subpar pools, say they're building a beautiful looking pool, but you know for a fact that underground they have cut every corner possible. Never, ever talk trash about your competition. Never. It looks bad on you. It looks bad on the industry, and it's just poor business practices, because what the customer is, and listen, the customers will respect you more, and so will everybody else. Because whenever you say, hey, listen, I know that you're getting bids from XYZ company, and listen, they are just total trash. They're going to rip you off. They're going to put on, say you hate sand filters. They're going to put on a sand filter, and sand filter is just a trash filter, and they're using Hayward products, and I don't like Hayward because of this and this and this and this, whatever it is. Here's the thing. If you want to, and I really hope that you freshened up with the Q-tip before you listen to this. If you want to gain your customers' trust, and you want to gain that business, when they say, hey, I'm also looking at XYZ company, and I'm looking at your company, and tell me what the difference is. The words that come out of your mouth should be something like this. Hey, listen, Mr. Smith, XYZ company, you know what? They'll probably do a good job for you. But you know what? Here's what I'm going to do for you. I'm going to clean out your skimmer baskets every time that I come. I'm going to check your pump basket. I'm going to clean that out. You know what? And as a freebie, I'm going to bring a blower and blow off your deck when it's needed. I might not do that every time. And also, Mr. Smith, when there's a problem, what my company is going to do is even if I'm not kind of there to be able to do that, I'm going to send one of my guys out to kind of solve problems. So if we create a problem, and you know what, we're all human, I'm going to create problems for you at some point. But here's the promise that I'm going to make to you, Mr. Customer. I'm going to fix those problems. If your pool turns green and it's my fault, I'm going to fix it on my dime. Now, Mr. Customer, listen, I'm going to be honest with you. If you're out there and you're spreading mulch and you're trying to fertilize, and you dump a bag of fertilizer in your pool, well, then your pool's going to turn green. So I'm going to have to charge you for that. But you, when you're talking to a customer, you are not, even if they ask you, hey, I have heard XYZ customers or XYZ company has just been treating people bad. Your answer is going to be, you know what? I'm not really sure, but here's what I can do. Even if they keep coming back at you, well, can you tell me about XYZ company? Well, what has XYZ company? You know what, Mr. Customer, let me tell you what I can do. Let me tell you what I can do. Let me tell you what I'm going to do for you. And listen, Mr. Customer, if you don't believe this, how about this? If you want to try XYZ company, go ahead and do that. Hire them, and if they do a great job for you, then keep them. Keep them as a pool service company for you. But if you have any issues, come back and I'll be happy to take over your pool for you. And I'm going to be willing to show you what we can do for you. And it's all about what you can do for the customer. It is never about what your competition cannot do. In fact, I have even I'm passionate about this. I'm sorry, but I am on this. I have even multiple times when I have got to a job site, and I was there trying to bid a job, and there was another company there. And like I said earlier, I make friends whenever going to an area. I make friends, or at least get to know every other pool service company in the area. And when I have gotten there, and there has been one of my competition, which I don't consider them competition. Your competition is your crappy or your good work ethic when you get to the property. I have said, hey, because they're like, hey, listen, I've got XYZ company here. They're going to be bidding me. I want you to bid me. I say, you know what, Mr. Customer, I know XYZ company over there. They're probably going to do a great job for you. I'm just going to let them have it. I'm going to go ahead and leave, and so that you can talk with them. I'm sure that they're going to do a great job for you. And I've literally had customers look at me puzzled, be like, "You're not even going to bid this?" No, sir, I'm not. You can look on my Google rating, and you can see where I stand. 4.8 stars. I've got hundreds of stars there. So whenever you call me out, and I don't really say this, but whenever you call me out, you're calling me out to do business with me, because I have done such a good job with all of my other customers that my reputation speaks for itself. And if you want to pit me against another company, I'm not going to do that. And I have walked off multiple job sites because there was another company there. And I have even got on site when another company was there and be like, "Hey, David, what's up, man?" And I talk with David, because I know David, because I've done my freaking homework and I know the people in the freaking area. And I'd be like, "David, listen, you totally got this, Mr. Customer. David, he's going to take really good care of you. I'm going to go ahead and head out. I'm not even going to say, hey, if David doesn't work out for you, call me back. I'm not even going to say that at that point. Be like, listen, David, he's got you. I'm going to go ahead and leave, because at that point, the customer is disrespecting me and my time, or wasting, and he's also wasting David's time too. But listen, David got there first, or maybe he didn't. Maybe he showed up later. Maybe I'm in the process of bidding this job, and David shows up. I'm like, hey, why is David here from XYZ company? Oh, well, I need both of you to bid. I need two bids. No, Mr. Customer, listen, David's really good. He just showed up. I'm going to go ahead and leave. And I'm not going to give them a bid. I'm going to walk off. I'm going to walk off the job, Lauren, because I know that I am that good. And if you don't have that much confidence, then you need to go take some more classes. You need to get a better mentor. Maybe you need to fly to a different state and learn how to do pool service or whatever it is from a different company that knows how to do it right. And when you come back home, you do such a good job that your reputation precedes you. Sorry, I'm going to jump off my soapbox here. I don't know if you have any questions for me.
No, that was great. I got you all fired up with that one. That was awesome. Well, we're going to switch gear a little bit and get out of the business stuff that we've been talking about, which is great stuff for our listeners. Thank you so much. And I think we're going to fire you up again with another topic, totally different. And it's that magic eraser thing. It's back.
Oh man.
We're firing you up again, aren't we? Is this going to fire you up?
Yeah, this doesn't fire me up as much as some of the business stuff does, some of the best practice. It's more so just like scratching my head and be like, how is it even possible that this is still a thing? Listen, so I've got 100,000+ people that know who I am in the social media realm. And there are other pool pros out there that are talking about this. Everybody that is anybody is talking about why putting a magic eraser or a melamine sponge in a pool is a bad thing. So how anybody still thinks that this is a good idea is beyond me, because I mean, I think Pool Pro Magazine did a write up on it. I think the pool industry, there's so many different write ups on it that a quick Google search will bring up the video that made it viral. That was totally BS. But under that is all of these articles about why it's a bad thing, and you could actually talk more about the chemistry side of it. Isn't it? It's the melamine combining with cyanuric acid, creating a compound called melamine cyanurate, which is the toxic chemical. Is that right?
Yes, you got that right.
Okay.
You don't need my chemistry background. You got just as much chemistry background through your business.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. You're teaching classes on chemistry. I'm teaching classes on business. But so that melamine cyanurate, that word stumbles me up.
They have English. To make chemistry names so difficult, don't they?
So long, like the name for trichlor. That's in tablets.
Oh,
I've been doing this for 20 years. I still can't pronounce that word. I just call it trichlor.
I had to love when I took organic chemistry like 20 years ago, and it was like trying to like say all the names. It was like, can we make this and more dashes that we can add in there to the name? Mm. Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. And there are people. One of the things that I actually teach is talking to customers, because there's so many people that don't know how to talk to customers, and they really don't even know how to talk to people. But talking to customers is a whole nother. And when you're talking to customers, you have to bring it down to their level. And if you're talking about what enzyme attacks what other thing, and you're being really technical and chemical, and you're using the full name of trichlor, and you watch the customer's eyes just glaze over, you've lost them.
Deer in headlights.
You've lost them. The only time, I'm gonna be honest with you here, the only time that I do that is when I'm talking to a customer and they are talking down to me like I am beneath them.
and they're the know-it-all, right? They're the know-it-all customer.
They are the know-it-all customer. So I am guilty of this. I will start talking chemistry and technical stuff that I know is well above their heads, and I'll watch their eyes. And when I see their eyes glass over, I will like stop. I'll be like, oh, okay, listen, listen, let me bring it back down. And then I'll start explaining it in layman's terms. And that kind of checks them a little bit. I'm not sure if you should do that, but sometimes it just pisses me off when a homeowner thinks that they know more than I do after I've spent so much time in class after class after class learning about this, screwing up in the field. And by the way, here's another tip for the new guy out there, or the new gal out there, or even the seasoned pool pro. When, not if, when you screw up on a customer's property, you go out there and fix it on your dime. That's called school. You're paying tuition to go to school right now. So when you go out there and you have some kind of a plumbing issue or whatever it is, you put too much chlorine in there, whatever it is, and you legitimately screwed up, go out there and fix it on your dime. Now, if it's something that you didn't do, say you got a pump and right out of the box, the motherboard on it goes bad. Well, that's something that you're going to fix under warranty. But I can give you a real world example of this, and it goes back to hiring techs, and it goes back to the systems and knowing what your people are doing. So we're going back to that for just a minute, and then we'll get back on track. Sorry, we're doing a rabbit trail here. Mm-hmm. I had a guy that I hired, great guy. However, I hired him and he was recovering from being a drug addict. And he was doing great for a couple of months. However, he kind of fell off the wagon, and I didn't really know. So what he was doing, and he was taking powder pH down. I don't know what the chemical name for it is. Doesn't really matter. But he was taking powdered pH down to powder acid, and he was throwing it in pools without mixing it or anything, just throwing it in pools. And what he did, he completely bleached out spots of liner. So it was a beautiful liner, and then it was a cloud of white with the ripple thing, like your fingers get when you've been washing dishes or something.
Yep.
So what we did was we replaced the liner free of charge because my guy screwed up. And I don't like to eat liners, but my guy screwed up. So it cost me a couple of $1,000. But guess what? That customer's mine for life. Don't care what XYZ company has to say when they get to a product. Okay, yeah, XYZ company, you're going to come in at $20 or $30 less per month for pool cleaning. But are you going to replace my liner when your guy screws up? And guess what? That same guy that we screwed up his liner and caused him a major inconvenience. His pool was down for a couple of weeks during the middle of summer. Guess what he did? He went around his neighborhood and told every single one of his neighbors how badass we were. So not only did we keep that customer, we had an ambassador for our business.
Right.
That's $3,000 worth of advertisement that you can't buy.
Right.
All right. Sorry.
No, this has
back
been
to whatever
great.
topic we were on. I don't even know.
I don't know either, but it's been great. It's been great having you on. So how do people get a hold of you, Derek?
All right. So they can follow me on any of the social media platforms. But if they're really looking to get in contact with me and get some of my teaching, take my online course, aquanutacademy.com will get you to the website. And then if they want to email me directly, it is Derek, DERRICK at aquanutacademy.com.
That's easy. And so we've teased them a little bit, hanged a little bit of fruit from the tree there to kind of see what they would gain from taking your course, your online course. So if you liked what you've heard, which I thought it was pretty amazing, that's just a few of the little things that you can benefit from his course. And I'd known Derek for years through social media and seen him helping homeowners. And I'm in all those same groups you're in, Derek. So I'm seeing you helping the homeowners. You're not making anything off of that. And those groups have grown just because of the free advice and stuff. And sometimes that's the best way to go as well, is doing that little bit of free stuff will get you stuff on the other side. But it's been great talking with you. Great conversation. And it was great to have you on the podcast today, Derek.
Thanks.
You have a great, it was wonderful. It worked out great. And you have a great day.
All right. Thank you very much, Lauren.
Thanks for diving in today with the Let's Talk About Pools podcast. Be sure to follow us on our YouTube channel or our Facebook page. And feel free to rate, subscribe, and leave a review wherever you listen to your podcasts so more aquatic professionals like you can learn about the show. We appreciate it, and we'll catch you in the next episode of the Let's Talk About Pools podcast.